This is the most powerful Claude Code update in months, and nobody's talking about it. Ultracode allows Claude Code to handle extremely large, complex tasks by spinning up an army of agents. And I'm not just talking about a handful, I'm talking about potentially hundreds of agents to split up the work and get it all done in one go. But the real power of Ultracode isn't the amount of agents it can spawn, it's the fact that it builds a custom harness tuned to your specific task on the fly. Normally, Claude Code takes a one-size-fits-all approach to solve your problem, but with this brand new feature, that's no longer the case. So in this video, I'm going to break down exactly how it works so you can start leveraging this new feature right away. So why should you care about Ultracode and dynamic workflows? Well, it's pretty simple. It is the best way to handle large, complex tasks with Claude Code. That's it. And the way it does it is through custom harnesses. That's a fancy way of saying it's going to create a novel way to solve whatever it is you're trying to solve. A great example is how it handles something like deep research. If you have a rather complicated question, like, should we migrate our checkout service to a new provider? If I'm just using Claude Code as it normally operates, I just hop inside the prompt window and I give it this prompt. Well, it's going to use its static default harness. It's going to be in one single session, right? We're going to use one context window. It's going to do a handful of web searches. It's going to fetch the top results. It's going to verify, summarize, and give us a generic research report. By default, when we're talking about static harness, what we're really saying is you just open up Claude Code, you're in one single context window, and we're not telling it to use sub-agents or do any sort of like antagonistic review of its original thought process. So it's rather simple. It uses less tokens, and in the end, you get a generic answer. Caveat, that's fine for most issues. We're talking here today about large, complex stuff. By contrast, if we use Ultracode in a dynamic workflow, and I'll talk about in a second the difference between those two, we get a custom harness that is built for that problem. We are going to have a different way of solving that issue. We're not just going to sit in one context window. We're going to bring in different agents, and the different agents are going to do different things, again, depending on the task. So in this example, where I say, hey, should we migrate our checkout service to a new provider instead of just doing some web searches and coming up with a summary? Instead, with a dynamic workflow, it's going to be like, okay, well, what is our checkout service? So it's going to read our billing code. It's actually going to go deep into how we actually operate. From there, it's then going to check the features against the new provider's documentation. It's going to price our transaction volume. It's going to have an actual devil's advocate agent to say, does that actually make sense? And then in the end, we get a specific recommendation instead of a generic one. So the big thing with dynamic workflows is, again, the process by which we come up with an answer is different. It's customized, and it depends on the question we are asking. And by doing it this way, we get better results. That's why you should care. Now, before we talk about where Ultracode plays into all this, first, a message from today's sponsor, me. So not too long ago, I just released the Claude Code Masterclass, and it is the #1 way to go from zero to AI dev, especially if you don't come from a technical background. I update this every week. I've recently added modules for a Codex Masterclass as well. And if you want to get your hands on this, you can find it inside of Chase AI Plus. I will put a link to that down in the pinned comment. So what is Ultracode? They must have cared about it to give it this fancy graphic when you bring up /effort. So Ultracode is related to effort level. So if you do /effort inside of Claude Code, you will see the spectrum that pops up from low all the way to Ultracode. Normally, by default on Opus 4.8, we're on high, but Ultracode goes kind of a step beyond max. Well, kind of. What actually happens when I do /Ultracode, two things occur. One, my effort level goes from high to extra high. We're not at max. We're just jumping to extra high. And secondly, I now have automatic dynamic workflow orchestration. So there's two things we're talking about here, right? In this video, we've talked about dynamic workflows, which is, this idea that we're doing custom harnesses for our task, and we have Ultracode. Okay, so Ultracode changes effort to extra high and allows for dynamic workflow orchestration automatically. Dynamic workflows are also its own thing inside of Claude Code. So if I'm inside of Claude Code and I do something like /workflows, I'm now forcing Claude Code to create a workflow for whatever prompt I give it, like insert task. But if we're in Ultracode, which we are now, Claude Code will on its own decide, hey, does this need a dynamic workflow or does it not? So we have the option to always invoke dynamic workflows if we just do / workflow, or if I say something like, hey, use workflows. So it's almost like a skill that I can invoke, same sort of deal. Or Ultracode allows Claude Code to be kind of smart about it. And it's gonna be like, hey, depending on the prompt, sometimes we'll just do the static harness. We don't always need to go crazy. Or if it's complex enough, hey, I'll go dynamic workflows. So that's where Ultracode comes in. It's like an automatic layer. You don't have to think about it. If it needs dynamic workflows, it will do it. You don't have to use your brain, right? And that's great. So with that being said, to actually maximize Ultracode, we need to dive a little bit more into dynamic workflows because you understand the why, you understand Ultracode versus dynamic workflows. Now let's talk about this a little bit more. And Claude Code actually, Anthropic wrote an entire blog about this. So the blog, which came out about a week ago, is called A Harness for Every Task, Dynamic Workflows in Claude Code. We're not going to dive into this whole blog in this video. I'm just going to hit the parts that you need to know about, and I'll put a link to it down in the description as well. Now, the first thing I want to highlight is why dynamic workflows. We touched on it at the beginning. Hey, it's better for complex tasks, but why is Claude normally not good enough for this thing? Well, that is because the longer Claude works on a complex task in a single context window, the worse it becomes. And the three things they talk about here can kind of all fall under the context rot umbrella, the idea of agentic laziness. You know, we've all run into this where you tell Claude Code to do something that's rather large in scope and it kind of does some of it. We also have self-preferential bias, referring to Claude's tendency to prefer its own results or findings, especially when asked to verify or judge them against a rubric. Hey, if you remember my video a couple of days ago where I showed you grilled meat codex, bringing codex into the equation, this is something I talked about there as well, right? Claude isn't great at evaluating its own work, especially if you're telling it to evaluate work within the same session, like you're in the same context window. Like, it's not great at it. And then lastly, goal drift. And again, keep beating this drum, complex task, goal drift is going to be a big thing. We have to handle this. We can't do these things in one session. And so creating a workflow, a dynamic workflow, helps combat these by orchestrating separate Claude subagents with their own context windows and focused, isolated goals, right? Sound familiar? GSD, superpowers, all these things, these last few months are all coming to this one point of like, how do we handle big tasks with a limited context window? It all ends up coming back to like subagents, fresh context windows, that sort of thing. Now, the last thing I'll touch on from this blog is some of the workflow patterns they bring up. This is not exhaustive. There's an infinite amount of workflow patterns, but I think it helps when we talk about custom harnesses and talk about dynamic workflows to see what we're actually speaking of, like visually. Now, the first example they give is classify in act. That's a workflow pattern where we have some sort of task. That task involves a number of subtasks, and we want to divvy those out to appropriate subagents. To do that, we need a classifier, and using a dynamic workflow, Claude Code will already know, this is the big part, Claude Code will already know that this is the sort of workflow pattern you need, right? It will automatically set this up for you. Another one is fan out and synthesize. Think of deep research. Hey, I want you to research some sort of thing. I need you to go out there and get a ton of information from a ton of different sources, potentially hundreds of sources. I need you to bring them in. I don't just want you to summarize. I want you to verify. I want you to actually like cross-reference it. And then at the end, I want a final report. Again, if you ask Claude Code using Ultracode or using dynamic workflows to do deep research on some sort of thing, well, this is the sort of workflow to come up with. And it continues down the line, adversarial verification, loop until done, a tournament style thing where you have a bunch of different ideas and judges, and at the end, you get a final winner, generate and filter. The blog itself goes into detail on all of these, but at least for me, it was helpful to kind of see what they're talking about. When we're like, all right, custom harness, what does that exactly mean? Well, it just means there's a number of paths to find a solution. And with a custom dynamic workflow, we get all these options. And the point is they're going to be custom fit to the task versus, you know, static harness, do a web search, ask a couple questions, summarize. We can do better. And lastly, before we go into the demo, I'm going to highly suggest that you take 5 minutes of your time, go to the Claude Code docs and actually read what they have written up about dynamic workflows so you can get a better sense of how it's working under the hood versus something like Agent Teams. Hint, it's actually running a script at runtime execution, and things like how to save workflows because you can repeat them. They're kind of like skills in that sense and that sort of thing. They actually have a really good write-up here. And in this write-up, they actually tell us about a preloaded dynamic workflow that comes with Claude Code. It's actually a deep research workflow, similar to the deep research that's been around for a while on the actual web app. So we'll do 2 demos. The first one I'm going to show you so you can kind of see how this all works is this deep research one. And this is inside your Claude Code right now if you're updated. All you have to do is do /deep research. So inside of Claude Code, we're going to do / deep research, and then I'm just going to give it a prompt. Well, actually, it'll be kind of a meta prompt. We're going to have it do deep research on dynamic workflows and the best practices for creating them. Can you do some deep research on the brand new dynamic workflows and Ultracode within Claude Code? I want to report detailing the best practices. There's a lot of talk about there being custom harnesses with the dynamic workflows. How do we make sure the custom harness that's built using dynamic workflows is the best one for the job? Or is that something on the user level we just expect Claude Code to handle? So there we go. So when we did that, you see we got a couple messages. Running deep research workflow, topic clear enough, proceed, workflow, dynamic workflow, deep research. And then it's telling us the workflow has been launched in the background. It has 5 phases: scope, search, fetch, verify, and synthesize. And we have the ability to watch it live. So if I go ahead and do / workflows, you can see right here all of the agents and what is happening in real time. So for the scope, we just have a single agent. For search, we will have 5 agents, and as these start working, we can actually, once they start working, we can actually see their token usage, because one of the big costs of this, right, you can kind of see it right here. One of the big costs we need to think about when it comes to using dynamic workflows in Ultracode is the token cost. It is token heavy. Now, there's definitely an argument to be made that we're just kind of front loading the cost, and that by virtue of us having more effective results from Ultracode and dynamic workflows, we're probably saving tokens in the long run. But just don't be surprised, especially if you're using a dynamic workflow that, I wasn't joking at the beginning, is using 100+ agents. Don't be surprised if you have a wild token cost at the end of that. So we can see here for our 5 agents that are searching right now, they've used about 250,000 tokens a pop. Scope itself took about 40K. And then fetch over here looks like has potentially 12 sub agents. And then we also have a list up here, right? 4 out of 22 agents and 2 minutes have passed. And I'll also reference my total weekly usage at the end of this as well and how much I burned. So 101 agents, 3.7 million tokens, and 11 minutes later, the workflow is complete. And in terms of usage, on like my weekly max plan, it was 4%, and I'm on the $200 a month max plan. So, token usage stuff, it is no joke. Like, you have to know when to apply this. And then I had to go ahead and turn the report into this HTML asset you see here. And it's pretty much restating a lot of what we see in the actual Claude Code documentation involving dynamic workflows. So what are some other use cases for dynamic workflows in Ultracode? Well, Anthropic actually spells it out for us. Things like code base-wide bug hunts, large migrations, and critical work that needs to be checked twice. Another example Anthropic brings up is rewriting Bun with dynamic workflows, where they actually ported Bun from Zig to Rust over the course of about a week using this feature. So let's test it out with a bug hunt. I'm inside the directory for my AI agency website, which also doubles on the back end on an admin side is sort of like my content creation command center. So we're going to have it run a dynamic workflow to sort of do a bug hunt. Can you go ahead and use dynamic workflows inside this directory to run a bug hunt and see what sort of bugs we have in this current directory? Once you create the report, turn it into an HTML report and bring that up in my browser. So you can see right here, calling the workflow command cluster parallel bug hunt across the Next.js app, adversarially verify each finding, synthesize a severity ranked report. So it's running in the background. And as always, we can do / workflows to take a look. So for this bug report, it ran in about half the time and took half the amount of tokens as deep research. We had 34 confirmed bugs. It had 7 bugs that were false positives. And of those 34, 2 are high, 9 are medium, and 23 are low. I have the ability to click on them. It shows me what's wrong, the evidence, the fixed, and then also the adversarial verifier that's saying like, hey, this actually is a bug. Here's the problem. And it gives me this report for pretty much all of them, where the issue is, what it kind of defines the error as, what's wrong, evidence, fix, adversarial verifier. So it's pretty deep in terms of what it's actually finding. And I think the best part of this is the adversarial verifier. Because again, one of the big issues with Claude Code and complex tasks is like, can you confirm that it actually did what it's supposed to? So that's where I'm going to leave you for this video. We went over why you should care about Ultracode in dynamic workflows, how they work, and went through a few examples. I think this is an awesome feature. I think it's extremely Powerful. Yes, it's extremely token heavy, but sometimes we do need the big guns, especially for tasks we really, really care about. And before this, it was kind of hard, right? We're doing some hacky things. We're bringing in outside orchestration layers, and now it's all ready to go inside of Claude Code itself. So, as always, let me know what you thought. Make sure to check out Chase AI Plus if you want to get your hands on my Claude Code Masterclass, and I'll see you around.